Hello, another wonderful day in paradise, pouring with rain, wind, and I'm still in flood mode. That's all we see on the television at the moment, the Somerset levels, the Alding in Kent, on the Medway, not good. Still, went out this morning, went up to London Bridge, and there's a fantastic market up there, Borough Market, for those that know it. For those that don't, you get a chance to go. Rather expensive, but absolutely fabulous quality. And I was dying for a German sausage called a bratwurst. Used to have them in Germany, and I absolutely adore them. So that's where we've been, and we had a mooch around and look at Neil's yard, and it's right by Southwark Cathedral, which is a sort of in I don't know, in the shadow of. Or in the shade compared to Westminster Abbey and St Paul's, but a lovely place to go for a visit. Anyway, back now, and I thought I'd do these farm buildings. This has been shown, I'm just doing it from memory, it's been shown on television so many times now, of all this flooded area, all the fields are low-lying, below sea level, and it just showed a few farm buildings stranded on a slightly higher bit of land, with some darker green trees still covered. I don't know what sort of trees they are, but they might be ivy covered, and a bit of the distant hills. So I'm going to try this wet in wet. I'm going to use this Bockingford paper, see what happens. So I won't wet it all and just let it soak in for a few seconds before I start attacking it. I want it to expand all over, but I want a softness in the sky. I'm not going to use the hake on this one other than to wet the paper up. Well, never is a long time there. So I just let that all expand, let that just dry in a little bit. So I've just done this rough, very rough memory drawing, and we'll see how we go. I saw an interesting bit of painting from Alan Owen on his latest one, Lake District. A very nice piece of painting, I have to say. And he put his cottage in after he'd done the background. He left some space for it, put it in, then painted around it, and I thought that was pretty good. But I put mine in to start with. But these buildings don't exist, that collection of them, it's just my memory. This one is looking, going off into the back, but it's not, it's 3/4 face on, I suppose. And the other two are just a couple of outbuildings. So I'll see what happens now. I'm just let it reclip it, it's all grown a bit. Then I'll put in a bit of sky. I'm going to do a brighter sky because it was quite bright yesterday. So I'll use my number 12, here we go, I'll put a bit of ultramarine in the sky. So that will do for that. Don't forget to do your piece of cloth. I'm going to put a little bit of red in there. Well, not as much as that. That's very, very fierce, but just a touch coming up into that. I want to see. I haven't done a wet in wet with this paper, just to see how it compares with the Fabriano. Just paint down to those cottages. A bit of sienna. Then I'll put a little bit of faint cloud in. Now, because that I'll put it up there, I'm going to put it down there. Because this is this flooded area. I might put some. Well, I don't know. I might put some fronds of grass sticking up. Try and just do a reflection of the sky, and I'll do that while we're at it. While you can do a lot of stuff while it's wet, like this, but as it dries you have to be a bit careful. But I now want to put it, oops, my haker's hanging in the water now. Let's mix those two colours together, light red and the ultramarine, but not too dark. I don't want to bring this all the way down to the horizon. Leave a bit along here. It's light, I think. Right, well that doesn't look too bad, does it? You'll notice when you use the blue and the red, or the blue and the burnt umber, if the paper's flatter or not vertical but at a reasonable angle, the paint tends to separate and it gives a nice granular effect. Right, there's a bit of red needed there. That's just a bit dry there. Right, let's just put a bit of the old cloud in there. Okay, that's quite a good start. I'm going to reclip the paper now. At Borough Market they have ethnic sort of days, like the French Day, Spanish Market, and they're really worth going to. It's very easy to get to London Bridge for us, and the Shard is built virtually on the station. So you come out of the station, look up and see this almighty piece of glass, quite magnificent. Right, I'll give that a bit of a dry. Speed up the process. Right, I can always go over there with a bit of harder edged, the dry brush. See what I feel like. Right, now I'm going to put the background in. Just a bit of yellow in there, I think. Just a bit of yellow with the blue, so it's not too distant. Just bring in a little bit of sienna. Try to keep my levels level, horizontal. Right, okay, I can put some bit of green in there now. I'm just going to make a bit of burnt umber, or a bit of raw sienna. A bit of Payne's grey, but very light, just. As that dries, I'm going to put harder stuff over that. Okay. Right. I'll let that dry off. Now I've got to carefully going with a smaller brush, number 6, I'm going to paint around this tree with some lights and dark greens. Nice strong green there. Burnt sienna. Payne's grey, lemon yellow. Alright, let's so I'm just painting around the chimneys. I'm holding my breath while I do this. It's coming on there. I'm doing this from memory, remember? So if I go darker brown with darker green with the burnt umber, should do. Leave plenty of air in these if you paint them. Okay. The reflections I'll put in, I'll rewet the paper and do those. So all these trees on the horizon, they're winter trees, but I'm just painting them just nice and faint in there, and I'll put a bit of detail in it. This basically is all it was, just a bit of a background and a lot of trees just hanging on to a bit of high ground along here. Right, let's get that a bit darker in there. Right, so that's putting some bit of stuff on there. Okay, I think we can safely go into the roofs now. I'm going to put those in a bit of a blue and light red. I'm going to have another try at using Prussian blue, but I can't really use it on this palette, I don't think, because it will get in everything. Let's just put that along there. Leave a bit of a white margin, if you can. You won't see much detail at this distance. And the light there, so I'm going to make that just a bit lighter on that roof. Right, okay, it's showing up right. Let's put a bit of raw burnt sienna in. I'll just warm up some of these. we seem to be going up a little bit. Anyway, let's just bring that across. Here, just straighten it up. I'll make it more horizontal. Okay. It's a very simple sort of painting. I'm not going to elaborate too much because there wasn't a lot of detail. And you can see how that paper has coloured there. Let's dry it off. I'm using the rough just to see as a trial, but I'm not so sure. The wet in wet is so good for covering large areas and getting this. It's good for this softness. I hadn't anticipated the heavier paper because I don't shrink or stretch the paper. I didn't anticipate that going quite so bouncy there. Right, let's put in the colours of this. I'll leave that one. Just a hint of warm ochre, raw sienna, I mean. That's facing some light. This we're putting slightly darker. Put in some windows, just not a lot showing in there. That I think will just put a little bit of a shadow under there. Right, that is all I'm going to do for those buildings. Now, I need to put in some reflections now, so I'm going to re-wet this paper here and then go back to my greens and just the darker stuff over there. Leaving a white or light coloured margin. I'll just put in some of those colours, the roof colours. A bit in there. Right, we can show a bit of dry brush on there. Let's just clean the palette. With my pouring off. Right, so it's that nice blue there. This is the sky blue. Let's put that, try and dry brush that in. Let's move those out of the way. Need some swinging room. Right. Okay. Don't think that's come out too well, but might have overdone that, mightn't I? Let's dry it off. Now a little technique here. I don't know if it'll work. Wet flat brush, or damp, and then just lifting off some of the colour to show a bit of wind sweeping across there. A little goes a long way. I'm not convinced about this, but maybe I'll need that green back in there. Now that paper's dry. This is my green. Well, that's a bit better. I suppose on principle, if it looks right or it looks okay, then leave it. It's better than it was, I think. I can probably take out a little bit of this here. Yeah, okay, that's just a little bit back in there. Right, now a little bit of foreground, excuse me, a bit of green, just get some dark, nice dark. Oh, it's slashing down there. Just a little bit at the feet here, just to. just a bit hard, just to anchor the foreground. Nothing too much, just to show that we are actually standing on some bit of dry land. Right, I'll sign that and we'll have a look in a minute. Sorry if I'm masking you. No detail in that background. Nothing in the, no branches, no need. They're really too far away. Right, I'll just clip it, re-clip it again, so I can put the mount on it. I work in a mess, chaos. I lost it. Well, no, there it is, look. See me. Right, let's put that there. That's about 3 inches up. Up there. I wasn't going to do a painting today. I was going to sit in an armchair in this foul weather and watch a film. I'm working proper work tomorrow morning, you know, the day job. Oh, okay, move that up the top here. Oh, yeah. Sorry, having a senior moment. Right, okay, what does that look like? Let's bring the camera around a little bit. Let's go into that bit there. That's all it was. It was just a few buildings clumped together, surrounded by large trees and a few scrubby trees going across the flooded fields. And that's what I've made of it. Let's go in a bit further. Yeah, it's stranded, but it's just stranded on this slightly high spot. Oh, they're talking about dredging the waterways. And it doesn't get flooded on a yearly basis. I mean, it really is bad this time, but it has been bad before. And they are building on floodplains and buying houses on floodplains, and they wonder why it floods and why their homes get flooded. The problem is getting insurance for the buildings, because who wants to go and live on a floodplain now? There's such pressure on building in Britain, especially southern part of Britain, because it's close to the continent, I suppose. Maybe while you're there, I think I'll just put in a little bit of strength there with one of my this number 6. I think it could do with just a little bit more work there, because the trees behind the house are just dragging us in too much, I feel. So let's just bring that across there, just a bit of detail there. Bit of variety. Hope this doesn't look like a Tokyo jungle. Probably does. Just a little variety. Let's just. Right, no more. Thus far and no further. Right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any queries or any questions, just ask. Bye bye.